Pig has some questions here. It says thoughts on match of the year after last night. Ospreay versus Omega 2 has supplanted the first as my choice. Do we get a third Ospreay versus Omega match to close out the series, or is that story done for now after Ospreay's definitive win? And on a night with incredible matches and amazing wrestlers from top to bottom, Kenny Omega came across as the best overall wrestler on either roster, in my view. Is he a legit GOAT contender? If not, what is missing?
For me, he's in the discussion. The person that I think is number one is the person that his like has the series with. Like, I think that for me, the GOAT for me at this point is Okada, and after that, for me, it'd probably be Kenny Omega because of what they've done in the last 7 years. So yeah, that's for me. Now, if you want to throw out Kabashi or Masawa or Ric Flair or Shawn Michaels or Brett, I've seen more of Shawn or Brett to give you an answer on that. And for me, the answer is no. Great. Like, they're my childhood. For my particular age, it's like it's Brett, it's Ray, and it's Shawn. But just objectively speaking, like, they are wrestling at a higher level because like the game has evolved. It is what it is, right? But yeah, that's kind of what it is for me. Those are the two for me.
I I'm gonna say, like, for a long time, like, I never really just come out like in like you hear a lot of people get brought up like this, as James mentioned. It's like, can you be in the conversation? I think Kenny's in the conversation. I'm just gonna start
Mm-hmm.
beating the drum like that. He is the GOAT at this point. I think the only thing, the weakness you might add, right, would be compared to your, let's say, Danielson or Okada, they've got a couple more years. He may have a higher peak and sometimes, like, when these guys are on the cars together, Kenny's the one walking away with the accolades and the fanfare and the adulation and shit like that. So, like, I think Kenny is done. He's done it in both places, which for me is like really, it really like adds to it was kind of like his Wrestling Observer newsletter, Hall of Fame candidacy. He was a great draw. He's a great worker in Japan, like in the toughest competition there is, brings it to America, and he's still going. Like, I think he just, like, I've never felt about a wrestler in the ring, like when I'm watching them, like how I feel about like watching Kenny Omega's matches. They're a journey every time. You don't know what's gonna happen. There's no formula. There's like there's moves. There's certain things he does like in each match, but like ultimately you're like, how's he gonna get me this time? And he always does. And you know, I just think he's the measuring stick. Like people, like, all they have to go through him. And you can say the same thing about Okada. Like, they have to go through that. But as Okada's gotten, I would say, into his mid 30s now, like the last couple years, I think it's taken him a little bit to kind of figure this out, like as far as like the pandemic wrestling world and the challenges that he faced and coming out of that now. Could this all change it? Sure, but like on this day, like for me, Kenny Omega's the GOAT.
When it comes to what makes somebody the best and what makes somebody a great wrestler, there's a lot of different criteria. There's a lot of different candidates, and we could argue, till the cows come home. There's a lot of different things. But one thing about Kenny Omega, and it's not the only thing, but it's the one thing I'll highlight that makes him special to me. He is the best big match wrestler that I've ever seen in my entire life. And prior to that, I would have said Shawn Michaels. I don't think Shawn Michaels is the best wrestler of his generation. There's many people from the 2000s and 2010s that I would say were better than him. But when it comes to the big stage, he's just special, and that's it. He's more special than anybody when it comes to the big stage. That's Kenny Omega. I get it. There's a lot of other great candidates, and you can list them all: your Kota Ibushis, your Okadas, your Shingos, Tanahashi. The list goes on. Johnny Gargano. There's plenty of names that are out there, but Will Ospreay,
Will Ospreay,
Bryan Danielson, AJ Styles. There's tons of them, but Kenny Omega's just special. When it comes to the big stage, he turns up bigger and better than anybody else that has ever done this. And And one day somebody will, but right now there is nobody else. It's just him.
Right.
Yeah,
Jeremy.
For me, Kenny, he's definitely up there in the conversation of greatest wrestler of all time. For me, he's my GOAT. You know, I was a Shawn guy growing up, and yeah, I mean, like Josh said, like Kenny Omega, there's a reason why they call it the best bout machine. It's not just a gimmick. Like that is facts. Like this guy goes on the big stage and has the best matches, the best performances, and like, you know, you look at the Bret Hart wrestler scale, like he's near 10 in every category. Like this guy is just incredible. And as far as like match of the year for me, like I think for now I got January 4th as my 1, and this match is my 2. But I mean, ask me tomorrow, I could change my mind and flip them. But at the end of the day, my ballot, whether it's Observer Awards, ONR Awards, Kiss Awards, it's going to have both these matches, 1 and 2.
Right. And the thing for me with Kenny, he is not my cup of tea as far as like what my taste is for big matches, like just in general, right? Like, but there's nobody I've ever watched succeed so many times doing something, and I'm like, I'm going to the match and I'm expecting this to be the particular story, and then they go in a different direction, and it's like it, and my mind doesn't go, they didn't do what I thought they were going to do or what I wanted to do, therefore I'm going to just shit on this match. It's like that first Ospreay match in the Dome, I thought I was going to get like something more similar to like the Shingo and Ospreay matches. That was not. That was a heated, violent ass match. I fucking loved it. Like for them to go with that direction and then still succeed to that high of a level is like Kenny Omega does that. And like there's not that many wrestlers where it's like they don't go the route that I want to, and then they're able to still give me something that still like had me super happily, just completely content in what they did. So, or even over the moon for it. So yeah, like he's great, man. He's an all-time great. And it's funny seeing people like, you know, knock the Okada series or knock this stuff. And it's like, and then I hear the complaints is like, so you didn't watch these things.
Exactly.
Like a year ago, I saw someone talk to me about like, or saying that they hated like that series of Ospreay and Okada because it was just choreography. And I was like, these are matches that are based off of lariats and drop kicks and running jumping knees. What are you talking about?
You mean Okada and Omega? Someone said this.
Yes.
Okay, man.
I pull up on Twitter. Yeah, that's what I mean. If I said Ospreay, I meant Okada and Omega.
Like,
I was like, yo, this is, I don't know what y'all talking about. I just don't.
And just looking at this 7-year period, you know, since I would say, like I always say for me, like Kenny Omega took off in 2016
G1
in the G1, right? And from there, like it's not just the Okada series. It's a series with Naito. It's what he's doing now with Ospreay. He has this great match with he has 5 great matches with Tomohiro Ishii. He's had this series with Moxley that's defined the promotion. The thing with Hangman Page, it's like in this relatively short amount of time, because you know wrestling careers are weird. Like he's packing more in, like at a legendary level, all-time level, and his cage match page is just absolutely filthy and disgusting any way you want to look at it. And that's with people jumping on there rating his shit low sometimes just because fuck him. Like, and look, Bill's Mafia, the tag team greatness on top of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say
twice.
This guy arguably is in the greatest singles and tag team match like that's ever happened. So it's like he's him. Like there's
Yano matches.
You stupid. Like there's wrestlers that have gimmicks calling themselves him. I ain't going for it.
It's Kenny, man. And we just answered at Morph Jin's question, why is Kenny the greatest wrestler of all time? Like I think we just
there you go.
Laid a pretty good case for that. All right, let's move